say hi to all of you here today at I think 5 webinar in a row. Today's session is gonna be about the equipment of the boccia player, what's needed to start boccia, and we will have three speakers. First is gonna be Ondřej Bašták from Slovakia, who is the owner of Bašto Sports, sports provider of sports equipment, and he will speak about something about history and his point of view, because he's building equipment for you. Second speaker is gonna be Samuel Andrejčík, who will speak about throwers equipment, and third is gonna be Polychronidis from Greece, and he's gonna tell you something about the point of view of BC3 player. I would like to tell you that as each webinar today's is co-funded by Erasmus Plus platform, and it's going to be recorded. So we will, after all sessions, after all 8 webinars, we will send you links so you can see it backwards and go through it once again. Please enjoy today's webinar, and I give a word to Ondřej, so we can start.
So I am Ondřej Bašták-Ďurán from Bašto Sports Company from Slovakia, and I would like to talk about boccia sports equipment from the point of view of the producer, but not only the producer, because I am involved in boccia for about 20 years, and during this period of time I was doing anything you can imagine in boccia. So I was coaching, and I was an assistant and organizer of the sports events and so on. So let's go for the first slide of my presentation. And here is the question: what to ask yourself when you want to find an answer, what to do when you would like to start playing boccia. So here are the five major questions that you should ask yourself. The first one is, who are your players? Who are going to play with? If it's you, or you are a boccia coach and you have your players, so you have to know who your players are going to be, and then what spaces and logistic do you have available for the boccia sport, or it is gym hall, or just a very small place of a corridor in your house, and so on. What are your boccia goals, if you want to play on the professional level or just for fun? What are your financial possibilities? Because as every other sport, boccia sport need financial resources as well. And what boccia equipment do you need? So as you see, I placed the boccia equipment question in the last position in the row. So let's talk particularly about these questions in the next slides. So the question, who are your players? I've got two different classifications of the players, or two different aspects of players. First one is your player classified? or it is not a classified player. Classified player, it means that he or she passed the classification, and he can compete at the scored competitions. Unclassified players, these are the players that do not have all the disabilities or injuries that allow people with severe physical disabilities to be classified. So it can be a healthy person, it can be children, or seniors, or people with mental disabilities, or any players with physical disabilities that cannot be classified in boccia. So, and this kind of boccia we called integrated boccia for the players who are with a less disability than classified boccia players. And these players, for example, healthy players, are integrated into the group of classified boccia players. So, and why you need to know the answer to the question, who are your players, if you are considering the classified player or not classified player for integrated boccia, because then you have very different needs as for the boccia equipment. For the professional player, you need much more resources, financial resources for the boccia equipment than for the players that play integrated boccia. Now there's another point of view on the question, who are your players? There are two major boccia groups, or two major groups of boccia players that are classified, and these groups are throwers. These are the boccia players that are able to throw a ball with their own limb, or it is a hand, or it is a foot. And the second group are BC3 players that are the most severe injured boccia players with the most severe disability, and they need for the game special equipment, so-called boccia ramp, and also assistant. We have to say that the thrower group is much bigger than the group of BC3 players, but and if you want to work with a BC3 player, it needs much more work and much more effort to make an assistance to these players, BC3 players. But as BC3 players have such a severe disability, the boccia can be the only instrument that can significantly improve their quality of life. So it's worth to work with BC3 players, even if the work is not very easy. So this is the first question: who are your players? On the pictures there, you can see a match of teams in integrated boccia. You can see a player with the boccia ramp there, a player that is looks like a healthy person, and so on. Okay. So the second question: what space for playing boccia do you need? So the boccia can be played in interior, but also in exterior. Now the people in general do not need the exterior boccia, but it exists, and it's very different boccia from the interior boccia because the precision of the throws is not so good as on the hard and leveled floor in the interior sports hall. But exterior boccia is very good for fun and for social interactions and so on. So you can see there are pictures of exterior boccia too. For example, these two pictures, the picture at the bottom of the slide is a picture from a psychiatric department of the hospital, where people with not only mental disabilities but also psychological problems have boccia as a rehabilitation activity. Okay, and also you have to consider the boccia logistics when you are going to enter boccia, and you need to consider boccia assistance, how you will transport your boccia players, and so on. And if you think it would be easy, then you can consider also that all these aspects has to be barrier free, and usually it's not very easy to find the right spaces and transport to these spaces. Okay, so spaces for playing boccia. The next question: what are your boccia goals? So I would like to introduce you four levels of boccia. Playing boccia for fun as a first option. You don't need a classification for these players. The competitions are unscored, and you can play you can play the integrated boccia with any player you can imagine. Then the second level is playing boccia at national level, where there are involved the classified boccia players. It's usually at the national level league, where the national rankings are taking into account. Then the next level is playing boccia at international level, and usually the players are involved in national representation, and they take part in BISFET boccia tournaments, and the score is involved in the boccia world ranking. And the highest level is the Paralympics, where the players should take part in the 4-year cycle of international competitions at the highest level. So, and the next question that you have to answer yourself if you want to play a boccia is: what are your financial possibilities? So you have to consider your personal resources, local support for example, Boccia Club or city or region or national committee, National Boccia Committee. And maybe from your nowadays experiences, you know that Boccia is not a very lucrative business. There are very few resources in Boccia, and it's very hard to find resources for to be involved in Boccia. Then I would like to encourage you to look for the resources from grants, because many Boccia sporting goods are purchased thanks to grants. I tell you this from the position of distributor and producer of the Boccia equipment that knows the background of our customers' resources. And also you can look for sponsorship, but sponsorship is not so effective, I think, as grants, because if you want to have a sponsor, you have to have results in Boccia. But to get results, if you have no resources to get to take part in the tournaments, so okay. And now we came to the Boccia sports equipment. So there are two major Boccia sport equipment in Boccia, and these are the Boccia balls and Boccia ramps. Boccia balls are for everybody, for every category in the Boccia, and for even for classified players, not classified, integrated Boccia. The Boccia balls is the base for the Boccia sports. Then there is the second very important equipment are Boccia ramps, but these are for the very narrow group of players in BC3 category. So and I would like to introduce you three different brands of Boccia balls, and these are the low quality Boccia balls you can get for about 150 euro. These are the average prices. So for the beginners you can get the Boccia set consisting of 13 Boccia balls for about 150 euro. For the intermediate level, you can get the Boccia ball for about 500 euros, and for the professionals, about 1,000 euro. So now you can see that you have to know the answers to the question who will be your player, or who will be your players. Because if you want to work with the beginners, there is no reason to buy the professional level Boccia set. Okay, the Boccia ramps. Average prices for Boccia ramps for beginners it's about 500 euro. For the intermediate level it's about 1,500 euro, and for the very professionals and very personalized Boccia ramps it's about 3,000 euro. I will talk about the Boccia ramps in the next slides more particular. Okay, another sports equipment. These are this is the Boccia accessories that the player is used during the game. For example, throwers need ball holders. Ball holders from that they have, for example, a foam from the foam that they put them on the knees, and they can easily take the boccia ball during the game from the holder. But also there is a picture of the ball holder that you can attach to your wheelchair. Yeah. And for the BC3, there is for example, ball holder in the ramp. This is the specific boccia equipment for the BC3 player, and boccia head pointer, boccia antenna, or ball rounder. Okay, let's go next slide. The next boccia equipment can be classified to 3 different groups, and it is referee tools, for example, pedals, calipers, meters, roll test, and so on. Then it is training tools, for example, template for standard positions, or boccia ball picker for the assistants, because if you try to be an assistant during the training of in boccia, and after a few, maybe 1-2 hours of training, you can feel a pain in your knees or in your back from picking up the boccia balls all the time. So the boccia ball picker is not the necessary boccia equipment, but it's very helpful for assistants during the training, for example. Okay, then and the last category of boccia equipment is tools for organizing boccia tournaments. For example, tapes for edging the courts, or score indicator, or for the ranked boccia competitions, timekeeping device, or winner stages, and so on. So let's forward. I would like, as a owner of a company that produce boccia equipment, I would like to tell you also something about boccia economic background of boccia sports equipment, because these information are not so obvious for the boccia players or assistants or anybody involved in boccia. My question here is, what does the price of boccia equipment depend on? So I have a couple of points here, and the first one is that boccia is a very narrow market with a small number of customers. I have made an estimation of how many boccia players there are in the world. So I took the number of ranked players in BISFED ranking. It's about 550. When I compared it to national ranking of Slovakia, so we have about 3 times more national level classified boccia players. So my estimation is that it's 3 times more boccia players. There are 3 times more boccia players in the national level compared to the BISFED ranking. Okay, this is the estimation. So in the world, it's about 1,650 players. And then I have made an estimation that for every player on the national level, there are 100 unclassified players for each classified. And I came to the number 155,000 boccia players in the world. So maybe my estimation is not very precise, but Anyway, we are talking about hundreds of thousands customers all over the world. And from the economic point of view, it's very, very small number of potential customers. And in the segment of the BC3 category, it's about 1/5 of all the boccia players, and it's about 30,000 boccia players in BC3 category. So 30,000 customers all over the world. It's so narrow market that it's almost impossible to be profitable in this era. If you would like to keep the pricing of boccia equipment at the low level. So this is the introduction to the narrow market. Then what else? What else is influencing the price of the product? So it's a piece production. Small series of products increase the price, and very significantly. If we have, for example, 1 million customers, the prices would be maybe 10 times lower, maybe more. Then handmade products. These are the handmade products, and the boccia balls are sewn by hand. Then the products are made to measure. Made to measure because the boccia equipment have to be adapted to a wide range of disabilities, and from these disabilities, the subsequent needs of players. And the last point is ongoing boccia equipment development. We founded my company about 10 years ago, and from that point, we haven't stopped the development of the boccia equipment. It's ongoing. It's every day matter in my business, in my work. And the game of boccia is developing very, very intensively in general. Here is an example at the picture. The picture on the left is from 2007 in Slovakia. Some players were playing with a pipe like at the picture. This very primitive kind of boccia ramp. And now in present, this is a boccia ramp at a professional level that we are producing now. So comparing this picture, you can see how much of development have been done from a few years ago. It's about 15 years. So, okay, here is another picture showing that development in the production of boccia equipment, especially or particularly the boccia ramps. But this is the same has happened in the area of boccia balls. If there are among you people that remember the boccia balls in about 2000, about the year 2000, there were just one type or two, maybe two, maximum 3 types of boccia balls with the same hardness, every ball, and so on. Now it's completely different. Okay, I would like to tell you also something about my company. So I'm an owner of Pashto Sports Company. There are about 10 companies in the world that are involved in production of boccia equipment. 10 relevant companies. Maybe there are more, but they are not so significant. Okay, and these companies are focusing on boccia balls or boccia ramps. Some companies, for example, Victory Sports, they produce boccia balls and boccia ramps, but are focusing more on the boccia balls, in my opinion. My company, Baszto Sports, is focusing more on boccia ramps. We have done a lot of work in developing the boccia ramps, and the boccia ramp is our basic product. But we are also distributors of boccia balls of the other companies. So I founded a company in 2013, and from that time until now, we export to about 40 countries all over the world. We are from Slovakia, and in Slovakia, we sell about 10% of all our products. So it's as I was talking in the previous slide, you have to sell all over the world because the market is so narrow that you cannot survive if you would sell just for a limited region in the world. Okay, so Ondrej Baštagian, it's me. I'm working in boccia, in field of boccia about 20 years. So far, we produced about 700 boccia ramps for 10 years of our existence, and the developing of the boccia equipment is the most expensive part on the whole process in the business of boccia. Okay, so here I would like to show you how it looks. This is me, and the picture. This is a house. This is a house where my workshop is. This is the interior of the workshop. You can see some assembling of the boccia ramps. This is the map where our boccia ramps were exported until now. And here are my employees. My company has, in average, about six employees that are working every day on production of boccia ramps and other boccia equipment. Okay, so okay, I have about 15 minutes to keep my presentation in time. So, which aspect to consider when you are going to buy a boccia ramp? I will talk now more about boccia ramps because I am a producer of boccia ramps, and I consider myself to be a specialist in boccia ramp field. So which ramp to buy for my player? So we are now producing 4 basic types of boccia ramps, and these are the boccia ramp for beginners. We call it Baszto Start. It's about 500 euro. It's for about 500 euro. The next level. These are the same levels as I was described before when I was asking. In the name of you, I was asking that who are my players? Okay, so if your player is a beginner, you should buy a Baszto Start boccia ramp. If your player would like to take part in the national ranking, in a national league or national level, I recommend you to buy Baszto X100, the boccia ramp for about 1,400 euro. The next level is international level and world ranking. The ramp is about 2,400. And the professional and very personalized boccia ramp for somebody who like, for example, Ferrari cars. So it's Baszto exclusive for more than 3,000 euro. So these are the basic boccia ramps. Even if you are considering to buy a boccia ramp from another company, you should think in this about these aspects for who the ramp will serve, to whom the ramp will serve, and what is the level of your player, and which aspects of the ramp to consider when you are trying to choose the best boccia ramp for you. So you should consider the functions functions of the ramp that serve your boccia player. So first of all, it's targeting, because boccia ramp is like a rifle. You are aiming at the target, so, and it have to be precise, and you are shooting a bullet that is boccia ball in this case. So targeting, there are two different ways of targeting, and it is when people lift up the tip of the pipe, and so that the player can see through the tip of the boccia ramp, or a player is aiming through the transparent bottom of the extensions. I will show you at the next slide here. So these are the views of the boccia player, BC3. How a boccia player, or what does a boccia player see when he or she is behind the ramp. So you can see the boccia cord and see the middle line in the boccia ramp. And you should join 3 points: your eye, the middle line in the boccia ramp, and the targeting, and the target, that means a boccia ball on the boccia court. So the targeting is have to aim. This is the question for your player when considering buying a boccia ramp. Then setting the direction, rough, it means rotating boccia ramp right or left. Then for the boccia ramp, we as a producer, we are considering also the speed of a ball leaving the ramp. These are a few parameters that we use for our boccia ramps. It's slope about 60 degrees. There is an arc with a particular radius, and so on. I do not want to go into the details. You will have this in this slide, and if you would like to ask me any question about the details on the boccia ramps, I will answer it after I will finish my presentation. And also you have to consider the launching of the ball from the ramp. Players can do it by his/her limb. If the player has enough strength with the antenna, or antenna that can be in the hand, in the mouth, or on the head, on the head pointer, and so on. So now, and which aspect to consider when buying a boccia ramp? Again, the same question, but from the assistant's point of view, because assistant is inseparable part of a boccia, of a BC3 boccia player. So the assistant has to be also satisfied with the boccia ramp or other boccia equipment, not only the boccia player. And from the assistant point of view, it's important the weight and dimensions of the ramp. The weight of our ramps vary from 3 to 12 kilograms, and the maximum dimensions is done by a rule, by a BiSFET rule, that the boccia ramp, when you put it in the box with the dimensions 1 meter to 2.5 meter, and when you put the boccia ramp on the side, or to the side, the boccia ramp must fit in this box when the maximum limit positions are set of all its elements. Then the assistant should also consider the transport of the boccia ramp to the tournament. So what to buy? Boccia suitcase on the wheels, or just a bag that you can take on your shoulder. And also have to consider that if you are going to the international tournaments, so you have to take into account that you will travel by plane, and you need to store your boccia equipment very carefully. Okay, then assistant would need to know how the boccia ramp will be moving in the sports hall. A lot of different cards are used for that purpose. And control of the ramp during the game, so it's right and left rotation, handle, and so on. Okay, so this is the point of view, the assistant's point of view on the boccia equipment. And if you are chief of a boccia club, and you would like to buy a boccia ramp for your BC3 player, you should know also the opinion of the boccia assistant, BC3 boccia assistant. Okay, on this matter. Okay, so I have about 5 minutes to 45. And now there is a question: how to make a boccia ramp? You don't need to buy a boccia ramp if you want just to try boccia in BC3 category. So you can make it yourself. Me personally, I started the same way. I started my company. Many players were asking me to help them build a boccia ramp, so I tried it, and this was the beginning of all the process. I thought at the beginning that it's very easy to build a boccia ramp, but after 10 years of work in this field, I am not so self-confident because I found out that it's very, very difficult process, especially when you do not produce just one single boccia ramp, but on the contrary, you are trying to produce more pieces of boccia ramps and in an economic way, and you need the help of your employees and so on. So this is not so easy. Okay, so but if you want to build your own boccia ramp, it's very easy. The boccia ramp consists of five major parts, and it's a pipe, or I don't know how they say it in English, because I have met with a lot of different names of this part, but it's a slide, it's a pipe that is the main body of the boccia ramp. We do it from a plywood, or they used to be made from plastic sheets or aluminum. Then there is a leg that we made it from the aluminum pipes, Then the third part is the base into which the leg is fastened, and the base can be wooden or steel. Here on the picture there are three different types, three different shapes of our steel bases, and there is a stabilization. You can build a boat ramp with stabilization, but also a boat ramp without stabilization. It works. The basic functions are working, and the stabilization is good for reducing the vibration of the ball that is passing through the boat ramp. And then the extensions, then the extensions that enlarge your boat ramp. Okay. How to make a boat ramp? I would like to tell you also. I will. Okay, 2 slides in front of me.
Andrei, I just, if I may, take your time and go through it because we have time. It's not a problem. Finish
Okay.
it as you want to. It's really interesting, and I think that everyone will be glad to hear all the informations.
Okay, so I will pass through these 2 slides I have in front of me, and if you have any questions, we can go back to particular slides and talk in more details about things that you are interested in. Okay, so how to make the bocha ramp? So I introduced five basic parts of the bocha ramp, and now the second step is the assembly and adjustment of the bocha ramp. You wouldn't believe, but if you have all the five basic parts of the ramp, you are in halfway of building the bocha ramp, because assembling the bocha ramp and especially the fine adjustment of the bocha ramp to the stage or to the level that it is precise is very worky process. I wouldn't believe that if I if I had not had if I hadn't such a wide experience in this field. But it is not very easy to assemble and adjust the bocha ramp to the level that it is very precise. The basic parameters are, for example, is the width between the sides should be about 89 millimeters. Why 89 millimeters? Because bocha ball is defined in the BSFET rules that the bocha ball has to have circumference from 262 millimeters to 270, I think 8 millimeters. And if you calculate it, if you divide it by 2p, it's diameter from about 83 to 88.5. 83.5 to 88.5 millimeters. So when you are building your own bocha ramp, you have to make the gap between the sides of the bocha ramp bigger than the biggest bocha ball. And if the biggest bocha ball has can have 88.5 millimeters, so the 89 millimeters looks a good choice for the gap in a bocha ramp. Otherwise, some bocha balls can stop in the bocha ramp when it is passing through it. Okay, smooth transitions, and also very important quality is the tip of the pipe have to be in the level with the ground. This aspect is many beginners do not consider this aspect at all. Okay, and it's okay, I think, because when you start boccia, when you are playing your first matches, your first training, you don't care about the details. But as you are progressing to the higher level, you on this way you are discovering a lot of details about the boccia equipment and how to deal with it. Okay, very important thing in with the boccia ramp as a boccia equipment is servicing the boccia ramp. Boccia ramp is a machine, and as any other machine, it needs maintenance. I have met such a damaged boccia ramps when I visited some boccia clubs, and that it was unbelievable to see what the player or assistant or anybody who deal with that ramp can do to this device. So even a small drop of oil can prevail to or prevent a more serious malfunction of the boccia ramp. But there are only a few people. I do not want to say technicians, but people who care. As for example, your car. If you have a car, you have to go to service or to do basic maintenance of the car, and if you do it, you can rely on your car that it will work as it's supposed to, and it's the same for the boccia ramp. If any customers ask us for servicing our boccia ramps, but sometimes we are servicing also the boccia ramps of other brands, for example, Victory ramps and so on. But if somebody asks us for servicing the boccia ramp, we always recommend to our customers to put a new developed parts that we developed meanwhile to the old boccia ramp. So and many customers can appreciate it to have a new developed part on their old boccia ramps. And many problems with boccia ramps can be solved remotely if the customers contact us in time. So I as a technician, I need just a message from a customer that something's wrong with this and this, and I need a photo or a short video, and I can solve the problem that the customer is facing remotely. Often I can solve it remotely, and if not, we can send a spare part to the customers and so on. So I would like to encourage my customers or my potential customers, or also customers of other bot companies that are providing boccia equipment, to talk with the providers of boccia equipment, to discuss the things, because boccia is so quickly developing sport, and so personalized boccia sport. The boccia equipment is many times made to measure to the particular customer, that you as a producer cannot feel all the aspects that can emerge in the process of using the boccia equipment. So I would like to encourage everybody to contact the suppliers of Bocha equipment if you find any damage or any difficulties in using your Bocha equipment. So, and the last slide is personalization of sports Bocha equipment. So I was talking about this a minute ago. So personalization. Why personalization? Because of the wide differences in disabilities of Bocha players. So okay, how to proceed with the personalization of your own Bocha sports equipment? So start with cheap Bocha equipment. If you are going to start playing Bocha, start with a cheap Bocha equipment. Try out the Bocha equipment from your colleagues or from a Bocha club. Try or buy the cheapest Bocha equipment available. Then the second step is practice a lot. Many times players are asking me, oh, what kind of Bocha RAM should I have to be a good in Bocha? And my first question after the years of experience is, okay, how many times per week you are training? And the question is not very positive. The question, the answer of the player or the assistant is not very positive, because many players are training once per month. Okay, so what results or what goals you would like to achieve if your training process consists of one session per month? You can have a professional Bocha RAM, the most quality Bocha balls, and so on, the best assistant in the world. But if you are not training at least one time per week, it's impossible to get better. So practice a lot. This is my advice to everybody who wants to start Bocha or who wants to get to the higher level. Practice a lot and participate in the tournament, in the trainings and competitions, any kind of competitions in Bocha. Just play. And the experience from this activity will show you what Bocha equipment do you really need. The next step is, if you see the potential for further development of the player, if you see that, yes, I see that my player can be classified, for example, or I see that my player can step forward to the international level. Okay, so if you see such a potential, so consult the purchase of Bocha equipment with its manufacturers, suppliers, or other skilled Bocha players, or anybody who is involved in the training process of Bocha and so on, and has experiences. So consult. Really, this is very, I think, this is very important, and not many people are doing it. And if anybody contact me and asking me for details, so it can show such a customer possibilities to customize Bocha equipment in the way that he or she would not have otherwise thought of. So I would like to encourage you also to contact the experienced people in Bocha and consult your needs in the field of Bocha equipment. So this is, I think, all from my boccia presentation. I have a citation here, a quote from my own that I will say it. Okay, many aspects of how the sport of boccia works are based on enthusiasm, dedication, and perseverance. There is no different approach even in production and distribution of the boccia equipment. So we are a small community. We are a small community that are facing the same challenges. Okay. So here is on this slide is also the contact on me, on my company, my web page, email, and phone. So I would be glad to hear of you. Okay. So thank you very much, and I'm giving the word to the moderator of the debate.
Andrzej, thank you so much. It was incredible to hear this presentation because it was really, really good. And we have few questions here. So
Yep.
I would like to tell you them. First is it necessary to be licensed by World Boccia to manufacture ramps, or I would add balls? So do you need some license to manufacture and provide these equipment?
Not yet, and I hope I I wouldn't need it in the future as well, because licensing, if BISFET would ask me for licensing my boccia equipment and would ask the amount of money that the BISFET is asking from the producers of boccia balls, I would quit my business in that day, because it's also almost impossible to keep working the business of production of boccia ramps, to feed 6 employees, and to get profit of it. Our profit is minimal, really minimal. This was my quote about also, that it's about the perseverance, that yes, I would like to do it because I started it, I was enthusiastic, not so much, and I have a dedication to the sport of boccia and so on. But no, I don't need to have a license. Anybody can make a boccia ramp, as I told in my presentation, that you personally, if you want to start building boccia ramps, you can. And I hope that BISFET wouldn't license us, because it would be killing for our business.
Okay, thank you. Another question is, are you a partner or sponsor of any of the active players?
Yes.
And can you tell us, for example, if you provide balls or something, or how it's in real?
Okay, when I was talking about the sponsorship, yes, me also as a company involved in boccia, we are sponsoring some players, but not at the regular or systematically or regularly. But if anybody asks me if I can, in what way I can be helpful, for example, okay, the last examples. I was in Vienna. It's about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and a new boccia club in Burgenland in Austria was founded, and they asked me if I can support the boccia club to start to play boccia and so on. So I built a boccia ramp, very specific one, from the spare parts in my workshop. I put it together. I have made a special, very unique boccia ramp that is not for sale, and I take it to Vienna to this player. So, for example, like this. The second example is that I was in December. I was in Lviv, in Ukraine, because Ukraine boccia players in Lviv, they also founded a boccia club there, and they were asking me if I can sell any boccia ramp to them, but some cheap version. And I would like to support Ukraine because of the situation, that we know. Everybody knows what the situation is in Ukraine, and I would like to support Ukraine. So I suggested that I will collect bigger amount of boccia equipment in my workshop that I don't need, or I would like to make a sponsorship with this boccia equipment. I will collect it, and I will come to Lviv and bring the boccia equipment there. So I was there. It was very nice experience. They were very, very grateful for this. And so yes, sometimes we do sponsorship on the individual level.
Perfect. Thank you. Next question is if you're considering working with players to develop ramps, or are you?
Yes, for sure. This is the richest source of ideas for boccia producers, and it was from the beginning of my company, from the first day of when my company started to exist. So it was like I developed something, I take it to the players and ask them to play with them. I was also coaching, so this was my my advantage, that I was also coaching. So I built a boccia ramp. I came to the gym hall, I asked my player, okay, try this ramp. I have seen how they play. We were talking about it, and I wrote it down, and make the changes and so on. And this process, even after 10 years of existence of my company, this process is the same. I come to a boccia tournament or boccia training anywhere, for example, in Vienna now, the same. And I'm asking or talking with the players, oh, what do you want? You want this. Okay, I write it down. And for example, the last thing I'm going to develop is a handle for basically 3 players that would like to maneuver with the boccia ramp right and left, on the right or left side, rotate the boccia ramp by their own hand. Because some BC3 players, yes, they are weak, but some of them can maneuver a little bit. So, and it's a good advantage for BC3 player to maneuver himself or herself, not asking assistant to do that. So yes, the development is ongoing, and with the cooperation or with the players or also coaches and so on. And this development is possible also on the remote level. So anybody who have an idea for himself or anybody to make something special on the boccia equipment can write me a message. I will make a drawing. We can make a prototype to send it, and so also remotely it is possible, and it is going on.
That's great. Another question is if you're considering applying for a license to manufacture balls.
if you consider to manufacture balls, my company,
Yes.
we have made a few balls. We have made it, but I founded my company with zero resources. So I had to borrow from my friends, from family, from bank, and so on. And with that budget, I was able to start production of boccia ramps. But if you want to start a production of boccia balls, you need the same budget or the same amount of resources to start, because this is a completely different area of production. You need spaces, you need different materials, you need experiences, sewers. It's not easy. So we have made a couple of balls. Yes, I found we have made the cutting machines, and I found a sewer. I found the filling material, and so on. We have made a couple of balls, but then I realized that I have no resources for this area of production, and it's
Okay.
not easy. It's not easy to make a good boccia ball.
Because we have two more questions about balls. First is, what kind of balls do you recommend for boccia? Let's say for BC3 players or for throwers. Do you have any recommendation?
Okay, you will have more qualified responders to this question after me, someone Andrejčík and Polychron this. So they are more qualified because they have their own experience. But from my point of view, okay, for BC3 player, the Victory balls are the top. Maybe there are some other brands, but I don't know them. I think BC3, we have made an online application for measuring the precision of boccia balls, because I was also a coach. So we were looking for a systematic instrument that can quantify a precision of your boccia ball, and we have such an instrument. And when we and it's available on our webpage, you can find a Bastocalc. It's called Bastocalc, and you can use it. It's free. It's free, and you can measure the precision of your boccia set. And when we made some tests, so the test was the test was done. The same ball was launching from the boccia ramp in the same position. Nothing has changed. It was launched 10 times. The same ball, the same setting of the boccia ramp, the same floor, and we were looking where the boccia ball ends. And when we were trying Victory balls, the boccia ball, all, for example, 10 shots ends in the square of 7 per 7 centimeter. So this was the precision. When we were trying Handy Life Sport, it ends the same procedure. The balls ended in the area of 50 to 50 centimeters. And when we were trying the very cheap Pakistani boccia balls, it ended up in the square of 1 meter to 1 meter. So this is for example, how I know that Victory balls are very good balls for BC3. I don't know how it is for the throwers, because it's not so easy to measure the quality of the ball for thrower. I think that this is coming more from experience. The answer, what balls are the best. But I think the Victory balls are very good for throwers too.
Okay. And very last question is, if you can answer it, what is the difference between professional and beginner balls other than the price? So are they smoother to throw or something else?
Oh, the most important quality of the ball is when you shot it, really, and it hit the ground, and then it is rolling. So will it stay at the line that it was through on? Will it stay, or will it turn to the left or to the right? So this is the most not only but most important quality of the boccia ball. And if you take the cheapest boccia ball and you throw it, and you try to throw it the same way on the same spot, so and the ball is not precise enough, so you can try as much as you can, but it is impossible to be precise with unprecise boccia ball. And what makes the boccia ball precise? The ideal boccia ball is perfect sphere. But how to make a perfect sphere from the leather, from the plates? So it's not so easy. And the cheapest boccia balls are like a potato. It's not a sphere, it's a potato, or it's an egg. And if it have if the ball has this shape, it cannot be precise. You can make it precise by making it softer, to jamming it, to hitting it against the floor, and so on. But with the cheapest boccia balls, you have to do it, for example, 3 months after you get the quality that that satisfies you. But if you buy the expensive one, for example, Victory balls, you do not need to absolve this process. So this is the difference.
So hello everybody. My name is Samuel Andrejčík, and in the next few minutes, I would like to introduce you to all the important informations you need to know if you are going to take up boccia. You are a beginner, and most importantly, you are going to be throwing the balls with your hands, so you are a thrower. To get closer to the audience, I have been involved in boccia for 14 years, and I'm the participant in 2 Summer Paralympic Games where I won 3 gold medals and 1 silver medal in Rio 2016 and Tokyo 2020. In addition, I managed to win the title of world champion, 4 titles of European champion, and 4 titles of junior European champion during my career. I started playing boccia in 2010 or 210 when I attended a summer camp called Looking for Talents in Slovakia when I was 14 years old. This is a camp that is regularly organized to this day by the Slovak Paralympic Committee. The camp features all the para sports, and it was boccia that appealed to me. They saw that I could do it, and so I signed up for my first club. The ride through the national tournaments began and continued until 2012. When I got the chance to participate in the International Junior European Championships in the Czech Republic, specifically in Brno. As I managed to win this tournament, I secured my place at the Senior European Championships, where I competed as the youngest participant in the tournament in Portugal. It was 2013, and my run of international tournaments began. I built on my success from the juniors and managed to win in Portugal as well. As the youngest participant of the tournament, I won the first ever gold medal for the Slovakia from such an important event. Since then, I've had thousands of hours on the court, tons of destroyed sets of balls, and a lot of sweat and hard work, of course. So today, I will try to give you the best point of view on the balls and all equipment what you need when you throw the balls. If we will go back to my beginnings, shortly after I signed up, I was gifted with some worn and old balls. It was the HandyLife brand, as you can see on the first image. They were relatively hard, and since they hadn't been stored well, just those in the bag, they were also warped and damaged, let's say. They weren't in a good condition. I was very happy anyway that I had something to play with, and I didn't have to deal with buying sports equipment first, which, let's face it, it's not the cheapest item on the boccia equipment market. I played with my HandyLife balls until the summer of 2012, when my first set of Boccia's Brazil balls arrived. I made the exchange after more than a year and a half since I started playing. After being told by one of the Slovak Paralympians that if I really wanted to break into the sport, I couldn't play with those balls, and I need to immediately start thinking about balls that would suit me or suit my requirements and throw types. I had absolutely no idea what type of thrower I am and what type of throw he had in mind. And of course, I had no idea about my requirements for balls were. So I engaged in the broader discussion with him to get a knowledge for what my options were as a player for the game during the time. I continued with that one set for over the next 3 years. Almost swapping out a ball for one from the team's stock when one got damaged, or when I damaged the ball. So I took another one, but it was always in the same brand. I had no idea about mixing sets of hardness of the balls, or even more mixing sets of different brandings. So I was comfortable with the balls I was playing with at the moment, and it was Boccia's Brazils. Just as it's now natural, or as it's natural for complete beginners to mix sets. I didn't start mixing balls until 2017. So it's 7 years after I started actively playing. Also 1 year after my participation in the Paralympics in Rio. So, however, more than a year before, that at the end of 2015, I replaced my entire set of Boccias with the Victory brand balls, as was mentioned by Andre a few minutes ago. I practically only played one season with them. It was season 2016, including the Summer Paralympic Games in Rio de Janeiro. Since 2017, I have also included the last ball, what you can see on the slide, and it was a Portuguese brand Tutti per Tutti in my set of the balls, which was part of my set until the last tournament last year. So as I mentioned in the previous slide, mixing sets of balls is very popular and important at the moment. Players make their game easier by combining balls that fulfill individual purposes. Mostly these are balls for pitching, like the first balls. They are mostly super soft or soft. Also balls for knocking out. They're usually medium to super hard of hardness, and also balls for placement in the game, mostly medium or soft medium of the hardness. It is common to see players who have a basic combination of two super soft balls, two soft balls, and two medium or medium hard, as I had. The question remains, however, which ball marks or brands are appropriate for individual throws or tackles situation. The answer is that it's absolutely an individual matter. Each player finds his favorite brand, and then learns to throw with it. On the World Boccia website, we can find a list of all the ball manufacturers, along with the contact details on them. A list of all manufacturers, as you can see on this slide, can be found on the About the Sport and Ball Licensing tab. So please feel free, if you are looking for the licensing of balls, please feel free to contact the manufacturers from this site, and you will make sure that you will go specifically to the specific manufacturer. There are currently 8 of them. So to give you an idea, there are currently around 30 models of balls, if I count it well, available, and each model can be manufactured in different degrees of hardness. And we know at least 4 to 5 degrees of hardness. So it makes 120 to 150 different type of models of balls. In the next pictures, I will show you images of the currently licensed balls that are available for purchase. The cost of these balls range from about 40 euros to 100 to 1,020, 200 euros with taxes and shipping. So yeah. It all depends about branding, about shipping, and about what you are looking for. As you can see on this slide, you can see the old balls, so what we are using for playing boccia a few years ago, and you can see some of them, they are really soft, as you can see the jack on the left side and the blue ball on the right side. And it was pretty common view, I believe, that some of you who entered internationally, I saw some familiar faces on this webinar too. You'll remember those balls on the field of play, and that is why the ball licensing started within World Boccia Federation. The motivation to start ball licensing was, of course, let's say it's a cheating because, or currently it's cheating to make the balls as soft as you can see on those pictures. That time it wasn't so hard to say cheating. It was just let's say some way how to make the ball softer, and it wasn't illegal. However, World Boccia didn't want to see those balls on the court, and they needed to do something. So they figured out the ball licensing. And as you can see on the bottom of the page, this is how the balls looks like now. Unfortunately, I'm not going to give you any of my opinions on individual brands, what you will see in the next slides, other than the ones I mentioned earlier in the presentation. So Victory, Bocas, Handy Life, and Tutti per Tutti, because those balls, I'm pretty sure that I have pretty good knowledge after years on the court. However, I hope that the individual shots will give you enough insight into the wide range of equipment available and why it's important to do your own research first and then shop around. Apart from the hardness, the balls differ mainly in the surface, the material from which they are made. The leather can be artificial, can be natural, mostly from the cow and the sheep, or pseudo leather, as can be often seen on Tutti per Tutti balls. It is pseudo that is most often used for the striking out or knocking out the balls out of the court. Balls made of this material are less prone to slowing down when they hit the floor, and their center of gravity is very well set up to push the balls in front of them. So that's why a lot of athletes use Tutti per Tutti balls for knocking out the balls out of court. And this is also why I started to use them in 2016 or 17. You can see them on this slide. They are in the third row. So Tutti per Tutti Elite model. Leather balls are also very popular for their softness and are therefore often used in the first balls in the situation as the warm-up balls or the first balls of the game. Soft and sample balls become literally unplayable for many players, impossible to knock out, as you can saw in the slide few minutes ago. However, for recreation players, there is also the option to purchase unlicensed balls, which are priced at a fraction of the aforementioned price. And they're starting about 100 euros. If you are interested, we can also put you in touch with such distributors after the webinar, of course. Well, however, the balls are not the only ingredient that is important for a well-done game. A big part is the game wheelchair. Again, this is set up based on individual players' needs. And it is very important that the player to have a meeting with the coach or with a physiotherapist or with some medics in their team who can guide the player or provide the player about informations how he should sit when he's throwing, how his center of gravity should be set, and how the wheelchair should be adjusted to give the best performance. I believe that some of those informations were also mentioned during the last webinars a few weeks ago. However, this is a really important part of the well-done game to set up the wheelchair to give the best possibilities to the athlete. Personally, I have always preferred a center of gravity set more forward, including a seat that was angled slightly forward so that I could bend over or bend down and approach the court better. This is completely, of course, contrary to proper wheelchair seating when you need to be not forward but backward, which is why you often see players have a wheelchair only for play, only for the game purposes. And this wheelchair is completely unusable in their day-to-day lives. So they have at least two wheelchairs. The brakes are also a really key component to keeping the wheelchair stable on the court. It is also important to have the wheels inflated to as high a density as possible so that they fit the brakes well. I highly recommend to all athletes start talking with the manufacturers of wheelchairs about the braking system, because there is plenty possibilities how to set up the brakes properly, and this will for sure help athlete to stay at the position on the court, and the athlete will not slide with the wheelchair in the box. Oftentimes, players on the international level are seen washing the wheels out of the dust and dirt before playing, so that they don't slip on the court. Water reacting with the rubber surface on the court will literally restrict the wheelchair from moving in any way. Since I was also using my feet, which were on the ground, not on the wheelchair, but outside the wheelchair, I was washing the bottom of my shoes too, to not slip on the court, because of course after the day of use they were more slippery. So I washed them properly before each game. Also, it's often to see that players take their rings off their wheels so that they don't bump their hand on the wheel and affect the throw itself. Annually, I was those on the balls and wheelchair spent between, let's say, 7,000 to 10,000 euros per year. Included in this amount are the costs associated with the buying balls, because I destroyed 2 to 3 or to 4 sets a year or per year, which I needed to regularly repurchase. Of course, there is a service of the wheelchair and buying various other tools such as expanders, kettlebells, one-handed dumbbells, and other tools that were a regular part of my workouts. It is the aforementioned expanders that are very important as a pre-match workout for their variable resistance, for warming up the muscles around the shoulders and chest, and also to loosen up the shoulder joints to avoid injury, of course. So this is something what I highly recommend to have with the athlete on the tournament. If I should go back to the balls and the fact that we don't want to buy new sets every year, it's important to take proper care of the balls, of course. It's not just that buying balls, it's a very expensive process. It's also that it's very difficult to play with a raw or a new ball. Much better are balls that in the longer process after some training and games. Therefore, the most valuable balls are the ones that are already showing sign of wear. So that's why there is old equals gold. In the boccia, it really means a lot. In order to keep the ball from destroying so quickly, it's important to take proper care of it. I heard Andre a few minutes ago, he mentioned some softening process. I would like to mention that aggressive softening is definitely not advisable, as we see especially with inexperienced players who kick the balls, stand on them or wheelchair over them, or throw them against the wall or against the stairs. It's much better to keep the balls warm or warm them in your hands, let's say. Gently squeeze them in your fingers to warm the skin. which slowly softens under your hands. Some players also use moisturizing creams, but these creams must not leave any signs of buildup on the ball. The latter is forbidden if it would favor the player in any way, such as making the ball more stickier, let's say. So that's why you need to take a really or be really important to choose the proper creams, because it's illegal to make ball stickier or to let some cream on it. Some ball manufacturers also send the video with the purchase of the balls on how to empty the granules from the balls. From my perspective of view, I personally disagree with this method, as you can see on this slide, for the several reasons. The first reason is that I have a long favorite height weight balls, so removing the granules strike me in an illogical step. Another reason is the visible hole in the ball, which is against the rules, and many times referees will remove such balls from the play, from the game. So, as I mentioned, I prefer more heavier balls to be to let them on the court, on the position, because more heavier means that it will move harder, and also because of the hole, which is illegal. The last reason is that the ball doesn't become softer, but it is much more important to have a skin that is soft than a hard skin with empty padding. That means that if you have a hard skin with emptying granules outside of the balls, the ball can bounce to the sides, and they mostly also bounce to the sides. Really, much more important is to have a soft leather and soft stitches. And it doesn't matter if the granules will be there or will not be there, because the surface of the ball is what is important from my perspective of view. So it's much more important to have a soft skin and soft stitches, and the ball will stop bounce to the sides, and it will roll over strictly, as Andre mentioned in his presentation. Among the tools that can make training more varied are the following tools: cones, circles, trainers, pyramids, paneled squares, and other handmade aids and tools. All of these tools can enhance player training process and make his preparation more enjoyable, with interesting exercises at times when we see that the player needs to change his training style and have some fun, let's say. Sometimes it's important to repeat the shots over and over. Sometimes it's important for the athletes to make the training in the more funnier way, to let them enjoy the game and have just the good feelings. And those tools and within the training process can be really important part of the training. And I believe your athletes will thank you later. Another frequently used training exercises is also 9-point test. I will just come back and show you, which consists of placing 9 jacks on the court on the area what I highlight with the white square. There is a zeros there right now. Within the 9-point test, the athlete is trying to score points for each repetition. In this way, multiple players can compete against each other, and the coach can select those players for the team who throw the highest numbers of the points. So the athletes stand on the court, they are hitting the jacks on those 9 positions, and they receive 1 point for each ball they will place on the jack, at least to 5 or 10 centimeters. It's up to you how you will give the rules of this competition. This is a test of what nation use really often. In additional, various game situations can be set up, of course, on the court, such as V-line, skipping, sliding, smashing shots, lob shots situation, and also others, as you can see in this screen. I took some screenshots from our training process, and you can see some situations what we are trying to train. You can see on the first picture that we are trying to remove red front balls to the sides of the jack and trying to score with our 6 blue balls. However, we need to be careful because there is a red ball after the jack, and it's really easy to push the jack to this red ball, so it's hard to score. Of course, training process number 9, there are 2 red balls from both sides of the jack in this situation on 7 meters. You need to knock out the situation and also score with your blue balls. Situation number 10, it's the lob shot, or the frog shot, we call it in Slovakia, where we do a double jump. We put on the floor some wooden stuff or the line of the balls, and we jump over to the jack. You can create your own situations for your team members, for your own athletes, and train them with those, let's say, funny situations. They don't need to just compete against each other on court during the matches, but they also can give those type of training situation process. So to sum it up, I definitely highly recommend beginners to contact more experienced players in the first place, with whom they can consult all balls, combinations, and either try them out. Definitely don't buy without having the opportunity to see what they are buying. I also recommend ideally have 2 balls in the set to knock out and the first ball of the game. So 2 balls in the set to knock out and 1 first ball of the game. I definitely consult with a more experienced player coach on how the wheelchair should be set up for the game, as this can greatly affect the quality of the game itself.
So hello to everyone. It's a great joy and honor to be here with you today. So I will try to speak about Boccia BC3 basics in equipment and how to start, and also share my own experience. So I enjoyed really much the previous presentations, and hopefully I will manage to contribute as well. So starting from myself, my name is Greg, or Grigorios, like it is in Greek, Polychronidis. I have a Master of Science in Accounting and Finance, and I started in 2001, actually. In 2002 was my first competition, but in 2001 I started training boccia, and I had a dream my dream was to participate in Athens 2004 Paralympic Games, which would be held in the city I am living. So it was it was a dream, nothing more and nothing less. So it's been tough in the beginning because I didn't know at all anything about boccia. I didn't know anything that there was a sport that I could do with my so limited movement, because I cannot move my legs or arms. I can only move my fingers. So it was amazing when I first heard about boccia, because in Greece, from the late 90s, the whole country was in a sport party, we can say. Everyone was talking about sports. Everyone was excited for the Olympic Games that would be held in Athens. So I learned about boccia and I started training. I started with a plastic pipe, just like Andri described. There were no ramps that we knew, so we had heard just about pipes, that we play with pipes. And the first set of balls that my club, not myself, my club owned, was Handilife balls that were with the previous, before 2001 regulations, and they were smaller. So the first thing that we had to do was to find money for the sports club so we could buy 2 sets of balls. So this was the first challenge. And until then, we didn't know, we could not even imagine, because there was no YouTube. We didn't have all the information that is available now. We didn't know that it is recommended for each athlete to have his own balls. So it was like the sports club balls. So that is how we started, and that is how I went to the first national championships in Greece, where I managed to win a gold medal and was selected to the national, to the first ever national squad of Greece that would participate in World Boccia Cup in 2003 in Christchurch in New Zealand. And I stayed there because it was a great experience for me, and it was like a seminar at that games, because my father, who was my ramp operator at that time and responsible for everything, and myself, we had the opportunity to see the best players from around the world with the best equipment at that time and everything. And we were like amazed. We were like, wow, how great is that? So everyone in the first days were laughing in a good way with myself, because I bought my balls that I played in that competition. Just a day before the competition, because the balls that we had as a sports club were much worse than the Mamac balls at that time that I bought. So I bought the balls and went to play, and actually I won my first game, and it was like amazing. But I didn't manage, of course, to qualify from the pool stage. But what was the most amazing was that I saw all the things. I saw new tactics. I saw the equipment, and it was so necessary, because in less than a year I had to compete in Athens 2004 Paralympic Games. So it all started there, and we did the best that we could. My father, I was lucky because he's not a technician, but he has a talent as a technician. So he built me a ramp, he made me balls, he did everything he could, and I participated in Athens 2004 and managed to win the 6th place, which is not a medal, but it was amazing for me. It's one of my 3 top moments, because just the year before that I was 37th and I managed to go 6th. So that was the greatest motivation, that after Athens in 2004 Paralympic Games dream that came true, I managed to do a success as I considered it, and that's as it was. So at that time, I stopped my after-graduate degree, and my father also stopped the work that he was, his job, and we gave all our powers to boccia. So that helped a lot, and in 2006, I managed to win my first medal, a silver medal in the World Championships, and until now I have 46 international medals. 6 of them are Paralympic medals, and I've been world champion in 2018 and 4 times European champions, and 20 years a national champion in Greece. And of course, because of so many years, I'm now the president of the Greek Paralympic Swimmers Association. And it's really amazing after all those years to see how a dream brought so many experience after that. So now I will start with some very basics for the BC3, and I will also try to say some of my experience. So there's already been a lot of information from Andrei and Samuel, but I would just try as a BC3 to say that the required equipment, of course, is a boccia ramp. It's boccia balls, at least 1 set of mixed boccia balls, a pointer so that we can release the ball from the ramp, a tape measure, a paper tape, pen and paper, balls holder, and a lot of wheel. So the first thing I would like to mention on the ramp is that the ramp, if it's a good ramp, it's not affecting a lot on the throw. The numbers are relative, they are not absolute numbers, but relatively we can say that the ramp's affecting 10 or maybe less of the throw, while each ball itself affects 90% of the throw, how accurate it will be. Though that 90% of the ball is based on the ramp's 10%. So what I mean is that if the ramp is not good, then it doesn't matter what balls you will have. If the ramp is not straight and it has a defect or something, the ball just will not roll. Or if the ramp is too short and you cannot have the pace for the soft balls, there's nothing you can do. So, in my opinion, there are more than enough good ramps on the market. As Andrei said, I don't have to repeat anything, but I believe that each athlete is advised to own his own personal ramp. For me, this is very important because even many times, even the same time or very similar ramps, that you can say that we'll do the same throws on the same ball, there is a difference. So you have to train, you have to be very familiar with your own ramp. And then the ramp, of course, you will also have to number it. When we say number it, I mean like having numbers from top to bottom or from bottom to top. It doesn't matter a lot. In order to know exactly from which point of the ramp you must place your ball in order to stop at a certain distance on the court. So, regarding the balls, for me, it's the most important equipment. Even though I'm in BC3 and we have a lot of equipment, the balls are by far the most important. So, the ball, first of all, it must be personal. There's nothing more to say about this. You have to have your own balls. Even the best player, if you give him a ball and tell him play now and play good, he will not be able to play that good as he would play with his balls. The balls also must be named or numbered. I always say to everyone that consider the balls like they're your company, your best friends. So you have to know each other. You have to know each ball, to know his weak points and his strong points. You have to know how it behaves. You have to know how it behaves in different situations. For example, on different court materials, or with different temperatures or humidity or whatever. So this is very important. And also I say that there is no, you can never be sure 100% about this. You are always in the procedure of finding more about your ball, because it's like with your friend. You can never say that you know him 100%, because it can always change. So you must always chase the better knowledge. Okay, so that's another thing. Next, on the balls, the BC3, it's very important to find out how will you position the ball on the ramp. So I don't know if there's terminology for this. I will say it an arrow now. It can be a dot or a square or whatever. So it is like a mark. You can say it arrow from now on, that you mark on your ball with a pen, and you know that this is the way how you should put the ball on the ramp. So for me, this is not always the most important to find that it rolls straight, because if you change that position, the ball may turn on the other throws to the left or to the right, and it will change every time you change the ball position. But when you find the position, or even better, in order to find this position, for me, it's not only for the ball to go straight, but for me, the most important is to have the consistency that it does the same every time, or as much as possible, the same every time that you make a throw. So this could be a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right, but it should be consistent. So for me, the most important is to find this arrow for the most consistent throws. Now, regarding the set of balls, for start, I would recommend one jack ball, which should be soft, one super hard of each color, one medium ball of each color, and 4 soft balls of each color. Now, I insist more on soft balls because they roll better, more straight and more accurate. And they're also easy to make the placements and to play defensively because you are new at that moment. But definitely one medium and one super hard must be in your set in order to be able to move the other balls. So next, definitely we must have an appropriate case with round cases for every ball. It is our priority to maintain the round shape of the balls. So especially in the BC3s, the ball, with the exception during the play, where they are positioned on the floor, which is flat, all the other time they should be in a round environment. So all the cases should be round. And for the moment, this is not difficult because most of the manufacturers already sell the balls in round-shaped plastic cases. So even if you don't have a a case, you can use these individual cases. When I started, this was very difficult to find, and you bought the balls in just a box, so it was very difficult and very challenging to find something round to put your balls inside. Okay, next of the equipment is a pointer. The pointer is one of the most personalized, I could say, equipment. And if the athlete needs to find the appropriate ramp for him, and there is a need for that, for the pointer, this is much more difficult to do, to find the appropriate pointer, especially when your movement is very limited. So I will start with the general three categories. So we can have a stick, which is the first choice, preferably for me, if there is enough strength in the arms to move that stick and to be able to release the ball. When I say release, I mean push the ball to go out of the ramp, from the top of the ramp and from the bottom of the ramp and from any position on the ramp. So this is the most easier choice, but you have to have the strength to do it. For example, I don't have the strength. Next is the head pointer, which is used when there is not enough strength in the arms and the athlete has an adequate head movement, like myself. I always use the head pointer and still using head pointer, but definitely there is a payment for that, and this is that you all the time have something on your head. So the games are already, there's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of stress. So when you have also something on your head, this is not good. It's recommended only if this is the only solution. So next, we have mouth pointers, which are also used a lot. It's also for those that do not have strength in their arms and a limited head movement, or sometimes you can have more head movement than from the head pointer, because you just don't want to use something on your head and you prefer to have something that just goes inside and outside of the mouth, so you don't have this weight on your head. Some players also use a combination. You can see some that may have sticks and the mouth pointer, or whatever suits better each athlete. Actually, this is an issue that's been raised a lot in the rules committee as well, because there are many athletes that cannot use anything of it or have not found the way to use anything of these solutions. So there's been a lot of talking about what is allowed and what is not, and some players wanted to use a wheelchair a lot and have the pointer mounted on the wheelchair in order to just move the wheelchair. But the rule at the moment is that the pointer should be mounted to the athlete. So it must be maybe the only, but it must be the athlete movement that will make the ball go inside the playing area. No, sorry. Okay. Now we'll start with basic training steps, or starting steps, you could say. So the first you should do is buy or borrow or whatever a ramp, and the same for the boccia balls, so that you can have balls in the ramps to play. Then definitely you must have a ramp operator or the assistant, as I said in this presentation, that must learn how to use the ramp. And as Anders said, it is very important, most important, for the athlete to be able to use the ramp, but it's also important the assistant to be able to use the ramp as well. Definitely, the ramp operator, the assistant, is able-bodied, so it will be easier for him to do it, for him or her. But definitely, when buying a ramp, I believe that both should be very cooperative for the start and choose the ramp that they would like to use. So next is to estimate what is the appropriate pointer for you. And my personal opinion is that this is more difficult than to choose a ramp, because the BC3, its characteristic is that it's for the very for persons with very limited movement. So the ramp is not moved by the player, it's moved by the ramp operator, but the pointer is moved by the athlete. So the athlete needs to have very good usage of the pointer. So next, as we said, number the ramp, name the balls, and then find a nice place on the venue floor that will have minimal inclines, that the balls will not turn because of the floor. So you will. The first question will be how to find this when you don't have a nice set of balls. So definitely, it's not easy to find this place from the beginning. But if you see that you start throwing the balls and all the balls turn to the left, then it's easy to understand that it's not because of the balls, but it's because of the floor. So in order to find, at least for the first times, the most appropriate part of the floor, so you can search that arrow that we were speaking about before, you can understand if you see that some balls turn to the right, some balls turn to the left, some balls roll straight. So then you can say that the floor is not affecting the balls. Each ball takes its own course because of the ball itself as it is. So when you find that place on the floor, you put your ramp there. You can make some markings on the floor so you know exactly where you are. And you can start finding the arrow on each ball. How do you do this? You start positioning the ball on the ramp. The most easy is just to place the logo of the company to see it straight, and then you throw the ball. So you see, does it go straight or does it turn? If it turns, you take the ball and you turn it a little bit on the ramp and throw it again. And then again and again and again, the same procedure. When you find a position of the ball on the ramp that goes straight, you take your pen and you mark this on the ball, so you know that this is one first arrow that you can use. After that, you go to the next ball, etc., etc. Then you go again to the first ball and you put the ball with this arrow from the first throw. And then you see if it rolls straight again, or you see that it has the consistency, then it means that you found a good arrow. If you see that it has nothing to do with the first search that you had made, then you just continue the search. And that is why, because when you do the throws, sometimes the ball changes the behavior after one or two throws. So it has to stay cool and then be played again. So maybe an arrow that you find after 10 consecutive throws will not be the actual arrow that you will have to use afterwards in the game. So this is, of course, it can differ from short distances or medium distances or long distances. And what I mean is that you may find a good arrow for short distances, but you can see that this arrow does not work at all for long distances. So you might have a different mark on the ball, a different arrow that will roll good for long distances. So this is also a dynamic procedure which you have to do in order to gain the consistency on the ball. Now, as I said, you throw the ball to the mentioned spots repeatedly. Also to find the pace of the ball. That means that you can create some spots, for example, 3 meters, 5 meters, and 9 meters, and put some paper tape, and then take a piece of paper and say, for example, that ball number 1 stops at 3-meter spot from position number 15 on the ramp. Ball number 2 stops at position 3 meters from position 21 on the ramp, and etc., etc. So when you have all your balls with the arrows and knowing exactly from which which position on the ramp you should place them so that they stop at a certain distance, you can start playing some games. And this will be just to start and have some fun and see what is right in what you found and what is false, what does not work. So then you can add more spots when you are ready, and always don't forget to go back again to the previous spots that you have already played, so that you can also see the consistency. Now I would say a little bit about the ramp operator. The ramp operator should be considered at the second half of the athlete. And this is because they compete together, they train together, they do everything together. Even the yellow and the red cards are also a split between them. So the ramp operator is recognized by the International Paralympic Committee and BISFET as an athlete, of course, with the exception of classification. They have an athlete's ID. They have all the WADA, World Anti-Doping Agency obligations. So they can have their TUEs, or they have to do their whereabouts and everything. And they also take medals when an athlete takes a medal, wins a medal. So everything is similar and equal. So when I'm being asked about my ramp operator, I say that it's something, the relationship is something like I'm the mind, the one who is thinking, and the ramp operator is the one who executes, who does all the job. And of course, there should be an exceptional communication between the athlete and the ramp operator, because the time in Boccia is limited, and especially in BC3, where you have to do all the procedures with the ramps and the extensions, etc. There's very little time left to think about tactics. So all the time that the ramp operator can do faster in order to save this time for the athlete, it helps a lot with the tactics. And also, the communication must be very quick. And I remember, I will tell an example of how important that is, that in Poznan in 2015 in the World Open. I was playing a game with Katerina, was my RAM operator, and it was my last shot. I was already winning 1 point. I had 1 point in that end, and I had one more ball. And I couldn't see anything from my throwing box. So I thought, let's go inside the court and see what is, if I can think of any tactics. So I went inside, the time was running, of course. And when I came close to the balls, I saw that there was an opportunity to take another point. So, but the time was really, because I was slow at that time, I was sure that there was nothing I could do to take another point. So I was running and to come back to my throwing box to make the shot. And I said, I don't remember, 2 or 3 words while I was going back to my throwing box to Katerina. So she heard and she did all the preparation so that I could come in my position, aim, and throw the ball. But if you didn't have that communication, it would not be possible to make this throw. And I made it, I did the throw, and I took the second point. So this is very important to have this fast and accurate communication. So, as I said before, the accuracy is very, very important. It starts with the simplest, that is to aim the RAM, because when I say right or left, the RAM doesn't move itself. The RAM operator moves the RAM. So if the RAM operator is not accurate, and we do like, okay, a little bit to the left, no, now right, no, now left, now right, we will lose all the time. So it must be very accurate, and the RAM operator, even from the tone of the voice, can understand how much is that left or right. So this is very important to save time again and to have better results. And of course, the RAM operator has his duties, responsibilities for some actions to avoid mistakes and penalties. And this is also very important. And unfortunately, I have one of my saddest moments in the final of the Beijing 2008 Paralympic Games. My ramp operator forgot to remove the ball holder. So I did a shot and the ball holder was in the middle of the ramp and it hit the ball holder and the throw was, the ball stopped just in front of my ramp. So I lost the ball, and not only that, that ball was blocking me for the rest of the event. So it was a disaster. And if you consider that I lost the final for just 1 point, I lost 3-2, you can understand that maybe if this throw was made correctly, maybe, of course, maybe I could win the game. So it was very painful, but it stressed out that the ramp operator has a very, very significant role to do, because sometimes it's being underestimated, but it is not. It is very important. Now, for the general training, and I will try to be as fast as possible, I will separate the training in 3 parts. So we have the distances, the playing matches, and the practicing. So the distances is, as I said before, you can choose the spots that you want to play. You note on the paper, and you just do it every week or every day or whatever you want to do. Then you can also randomly place the jack in the court and try to stick every ball on it. So it's like whether you want it to be the jack ball or the paper tape, you can do both. The benefit of the paper tape is that you can understand if the pace of the ball is more than it should be, in order to stop at a certain distance. If you have the jack ball, you may not understand it because maybe the ball will hit on the jack and stay there. But if you don't have the jack ball and you have the paper tape, then you can see exactly where the ball would stop. So now number 2 is that you place the jack to the distance that you are playing your own game, and then you stick the first ball. Then you do not stick, I mean, you can say better place the first ball. Then you do not try to place your second ball on the same distance, but you move the jack ball 20 centimeters or how, it doesn't matter, it can be 15 or 25 or whatever, farther, and stick then the second and the third ball. And you do this because you consider that your jack ball is being smashed by your opponent. So you will have then place your second or third ball to the jack ball. So you must be ready to try different distances which are farther than your the distance that you're playing your jack ball. And then of course you can stick a tape everywhere you want, anywhere you want, and try to stop the balls on the tape. Now, second, you can play matches and play against yourself. In my personal experience, mostly, I would say 99.9%, I was playing against myself. So it helps. It helps because you, at the same time, you can judge from both positions, from your position and from your opponent's position as well. So it is a nice way to train. And then, of course, you can play against other athletes, your teammates or whatever, and try different sports, try different balls, try different styles of play, because the most important in training is to know that it is training. You do not play to win. You do not avoid to lose. You play to become better in order to win in the real game. So this is what you have to have in mind in training. Because again, from personal experience, there have been athletes that they wanted to come in the training and try to win. And every time I said, it doesn't matter who wins. It matters how you become better from the training. So this is very important to have in mind. And of course, if there's an interesting situation, again, since it is a training, we can always repeat the throw of the balls. So if the ball didn't go well or something happened and you want to redo the throw, this is very meaningful. And you can try a lot of tactics or try doing the same throws, maybe with different balls or whatever at that time suits better. And third, you can play against the theory essay. This is, as Samuel said, if you have imagination, you can do whatever you want. You can position the balls and try different things to see what suits best. And believe me, it helps a lot. It helps a lot because something that maybe seems a situation that maybe tactics A, let's say, seems much better than tactics B. When you try to do it, you see that, wow, tactics B were much better than tactics A because you tried 10 times the same thing and you see that it was not as you were thinking it should be. So, and the third is practicing, which is, again, you can do different types of throws, like rollover, ricochet, push on a ball, place the ball in the penalty box, make a line with your ball. This is one of my favorites, especially if you don't have a person on the other side who will bring the balls all the time to you, and you want to save time for your RAM operator to go to the to where the balls are positioned to take them back. You can throw a ball and then make this ball as a target for your next ball, and so on and so on. So you throw all your balls, and then your operator has to go back and bring them back. Also very important, very difficult, is to learn how to place your ball on the side of the jack ball, because sometimes you are blocked, you cannot just position your ball in front of the jack ball, so you have to position it next to the jack ball, so this is also very important and difficult. And whatever interesting is coming up during the training matches, you can always do it again and again. And I will finish with my last presentation. This, of course, is my opinion. So this is a choice of balls, as I have thought of it. So if you are strong, already an elite player, and your opponent is weak, I would suggest 1 super hard, 2 mediums, and 3 soft. And that is 1 super hard because your opponent is weak, so he will not place well his ball. So 1 super hard may be more than enough. I just keep 1 because sometimes a ball goes where it should not go, so you will have to smash. So 1 super hard always must be in your set of balls. And 2 mediums because if something happens and you need to smash again, then 1 medium may be used for that. And 3 soft, of course, for taking points, where with medium you can also take points. With a super hard ball, it's very difficult to earn any points. So second, if you are strong and your opponent is average, it's 2 super hard, 1 medium, and 3 soft. So I give 1 more super hard instead of medium because I believe that 1 smash will be absolutely necessary and maybe a second one will be needed. So you have to have 2 super hard. It's always preferable to win the end, even if it's with less points in favor, than to risk to lose the end. So you have to have super hard balls. And then if you are strong and your opponent is also strong, it's 3 super hard and 3 soft. And this is the style that I play. It is quite aggressive, but I really like it, and I play it for the last, from 16, for the last 8 years. Now, if you're average and your opponent is weak, again, I would say 1 super hard, 2 medium, and 3 soft. Again, with the same tactics as I said before, for the strong and the weak opponent, because the opponent is weak. So 1 super hard is enough. And if it's not, you will do the job with the medium. If you're average and your opponent is average, and the same if you're average and your opponent is strong, 2 super hard, 1 medium, and 3 soft. And you will do what you need. And if you are weak and your opponent is weak, then I would say 1 super hard, 1 medium, just in case, and 4 soft balls. 4 soft balls because neither you, neither your opponent will place the balls nice on the court, but soft balls have the more chances to be placed better. So it's better to have more soft balls and hope that your balls will roll better than your opponent. And of course that changes. If your opponent is average, you get 1 more medium ball so that you can smash if you need with that ball, or place it, or use it in any way that it may suit. And of course, if your opponent is strong, you stay with the 4 soft balls. But in this game, in this situation, it's just for defense. So you just use these balls for a defensive style of play. And that's it for me. Thank you very much for watching.